Hello everyone. This is Monday evening at around 5:30 in the evening, and I just want to touch base with you and start the video with this one to kind of explain what's going on. First of all, I thought I was rolling a video and I got quite a bit of it done before I realized that the video was not running for some reason. And so I picked it up and started videoing and explaining to you what I did. But I also wanted to let you know that I have 4 more bags of beans and about 3 to 4 more bags of ham that I need to use up. So this is going to be a staple in my pantry for this winter, because it's an easy recipe to follow, and I have all the supplies for it. And so I'm going to get it put on my shelf in the pantry. I will film this again tomorrow. I'm going to start again tomorrow morning, but I'm going to do it a little different. I followed pretty much the recipe in the book to a T for today's video. But tomorrow I'm going to mix it up a little bit and show you what I think is an easier way to do the exact same thing that I did today, and following the recipe and get it done. All right. And so I will start videotaping what I'm doing for the next recipe of the exact same thing, and show you the difference in how I do it. And I want to let all of you older people that are watching me know that, if you can't get it done, all of it done in one session, because it is a lot of work to can. And so if you cannot get it all done in one session, feel free to break it up, okay? There are times that I, get to a certain point, get everything put together, but the canning process, I am just wiped out from getting the food cooked. And so what I'll do is let it just cool on down, go take a nap, and then come back and put it in the refrigerator and tackle it the next day. All right. Today I happened to get it all done. And so, you guys, I want to let you know to please like, subscribe, and please share it, because it's helping. All right. The next goal after I get my 5 people that I need is viewing hours. I need more people going back and watching the old videos all the way through, because my analytics tell me if you guys are watching it all the way through or not. And the more hours that you spend watching my videos and completely watching them, the better off I'll be. Okay? I'm not doing this to earn money. Don't assume that that's what I'm doing, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing this because I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy setting goals for myself and completing the goals. Now, as for the Amazon wish list that I have, I've had several people reach out to me and ask me what I need for my kitchen. And so the easiest way for me to answer that for everyone is to just do an Amazon wish list and put it in the description below. So if you guys would like to help me out and see some of the things that you gift to me used in my kitchen, then feel free to go down below and take a look at my wish list. All right. You guys have a blessed day. Morning, everyone. I wanted to let you guys know that we're about to get into some shenanigans this Monday morning in my kitchen, and I just wanted to say good morning and let you know the coffee is on and ready, and Spice, my dog, is ready to eat some food. So I'm gonna get him fed, and then I'm gonna get started on filming and creating a meal in a jar using some of the beans that I got from the food bank. So stay tuned. I'm going to post this to let you know that there's a new project coming out. So you guys stay tuned. I promise I'll get you some footage out. Everybody, I told you that we were going to get into my kitchen and get to some shenanigans in my kitchen, okay? And so I'm going to introduce you to the book that I'm going to be working out of today. And what I'm going to be doing is making ham and navy bean soup. And this book is The Complete Guide to Pressure Canning by Diane Devenroe. Okay, and I will leave the link down in the description below. But this is an awesome book that I use, and it's everything you need to know about canning meats, vegetables, and meals in a jar. All right, and so there are certain recipes that I like in here, and you can see I have a bunch of them tagged because these are ones I want to try. And so one of them is this ham and navy bean soup. Somebody suggested that I make ham and navy bean soup, so I found a recipe to can it, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. And the very first step that we do, and everything happens in my kitchen sink, you guys know that, is, whoops, here we go. We look the beans, okay? And so I have a strainer here where I'm going to be washing the beans, and I have the bowl of beans here, and what I'm going to do is pick out all the bad beans, put them back into the bag so I can toss it into the trash, and then I'm going to wash the beans before I get them on the stove, and I'll come back when I get them on the stove. All right, everybody, I thought I was videoing and I was not, so I'm going to tell you guys what I did, okay? I did according to the recipe. I'm waiting for this to boil. I diced up some onions, about a cup, 4 cloves of garlic. I also put in 2 stalks of celery, and I sauteed those in a tablespoon of oil. And then once they were sauteed, then I added in the carrots, and I added the carrots in. I added the vegetable broth. It was a quart of vegetable broth that I canned myself, and then a quart of water, and 2 bay leaves, along with a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And that is the seasonings for this recipe. And we're going to bring it up to a boil. We're going to let it boil for 5 minutes, and then we're going to reduce it down. We're going to put a lid on it and let it simmer for 30 minutes. So I'm waiting for this to come up to a boil. All right, and then over here, I'm going to bring this over here. You can see that I looked and washed 2 pounds. The recipe calls for 2.5 cups, but I went ahead and used 2 pounds. 2 pounds of white navy beans, and now I brought them up to a boil. I let them boil really good for 5 minutes, and then I put a lid on it, and I'm letting it simmer for 30 minutes. All right, and so that's the progress of this recipe so far. So I will come back once I've got all of this cooked up. All right, everyone, we are back, and I want you to see that we have a pot of beans right here. And then in the back with the lid on top of it, I'm going to try to get it so you can see it. Give me a minute. Right back there, you can see the stew part, which is the carrots, the onions, celery, and the ham. And I made a broth out of it. And so we are going to now stuff the jars, and remember that this is a bean soup. The vegetables are just for flavor to make the stock. And I used vegetable stock to make the stew part, okay? The flavor part, okay? So in the back there, that stock is the flavor part to go with these beans. And now we're going to combine them. So I'm going to move you back. I'm going to tip this up 1 and move you back and get this angle right so you can see that what I'm doing is that pot of beans has been drained, and I didn't want any of the juice from the beans to go into my jars. And I wanted to make 7 jars because that's what fits in my canner. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough for 7 jars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 spoon of the beans in each jar. And I'm going to do this. Tell you what, let's try 2 first because there's plenty of beans here. So 2, because I want to equal out everything. 1, 2, 1, 2. The jars have been washed in the dishwasher and sterilized. Okay, everything has 2 in it, so now I'm going to go back around until I have no more beans left. Back again, and I'm just going to put a little bit in each jar now because I want relatively the same amount in each jar. now the beans are distributed among the jars pretty evenly. And so I am going to put this pot in the sink over here. And I'm going to pull this pot over to the front. And we'll be back in a minute. Everybody, we're back. And I'm going to bring you over here. And I'm going to show you that I strained all of the broth out and just left the veggies. And then in this pot over here is the broth, okay? And so I'm going to divide this up equally among the 7 jars so it's equally dispersed. And then I'm going to fill the jars with the broth over there. So let's get busy on this. I'm going to bring you back to the jars so you can see what I'm doing here. And as you can see over here, let me find it. Right there is the sauerkraut. It's just rolling. You're seeing, I'm taking the bay leaves out as I come across them. I have 2 bay leaves in here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to dig around here. I'm going to find the other one. Let me find it. Here it is, right here. Okay? There we go. Now, I took the 2 bay leaves out. And in the jars, I'm going to put 2 scoops in each one until I get all the way around. Now the recipe in the book called for ham bone, but I had already used the ham bone in a pot of beans a while back, okay? And so two scoops in each may have been too much. I'm going to put 1 scoop in each one of these. That's all right. That's how we learn, okay? And then I'm going to split the rest of this up between those 2 jars, okay? And that's close enough. There we go. And then back over here. I know some of you may see this, you know, in the bottom of my pot. I did taste the food and it did not taste burnt, okay? So when I was sauteing, it got a little dark, but it was okay. It did not taste burnt, so I'm rolling with it. And I'm not wasting any of this. I am not wasting any bit of this ham. All right. Now this pot is done. And I'm done with this. So now we're going to roll with the broth. And I'm just going to take those bay leaves and put them in the trash before they end up on the floor and my dog gets a hold of them. So gonna roll with the broth. And this time, I'm gonna get a ladle. And we're gonna disperse it, the broth, throughout all of the jars. So I'm gonna put one in to begin with. And we're gonna see. One in each. This smells so good. Now this may seem like a lot of work, and to be honest it is, and that's why I break it up. That's why I break it up between sessions, and you'll see me stopping the tape. The reason is because I'm going to be honest with you and tell you I'm going to sit down. Okay? That's what I'm doing. Did I already put a scoop in that one? Let me look. No. I think so. Yeah, I did. I put a scoop in that one. I'm going to continue. I'm going to disperse this. Broth throughout all the jars. Come back and do it again. All right. Now we have both pans of food in 7 jars. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to top everything off with water up to a 1-inch headspace. I'm going to use my pitcher to do it because it's easier. I'm going to top everything up to 1-inch headspace. I can't see. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I see it. Got my vision. You guys are seeing my vision problem. All right. Fill this back up. 1 inch headspace. Okay. Nope, needs more. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to stir this so all the air bubbles will be released. And then I'm going to top it off if it needs it. So let me get my tool to do that. And all I do is come in and give this a little stir and then check to see if the water level is still at a 1 inch headspace, and it is. Okay. What that is doing is releasing the air bubbles. It may be in the beans or the vegetables. Okay. All right. Okay, now we've got that done. And I'm going to come in and check all the headspace. I see one that needs a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay, everything else looks good. And the next step is to get a little bit of vinegar on a paper towel. So I'm going to get the vinegar out. Alright, there we go. We got the vinegar on the paper towel. Okay. And we're going to come in and we're going to wipe all of the jars, the tops of the jars. And this gives me, it does two reasons. It cleans it really, really good, but the second reason is because it allows me to check the rim of the jar one more time to make sure that there's no nicks in it. And remember, this has ham in it, and I sauteed the onions and the garlic and stuff like that in oil, so that's why we want to make sure that the tops of the jars are nice and clean. Then we're going to put the lids on them. And I have the lids over here washed. I washed them along with the rings before I got to this stage. And so now what we're going to do is put these lids on them, and then we're going to add the rings to the jars, and we're going to get them in my canner. Y'all see one jar different? That's because some of these jars belong to my mom. So that's a wide mouth jar, so I need to go get a wide mouth lid and ring for that particular jar. It really doesn't matter, to be honest. To me, whether it's a wide mouth or a regular mouth. However, if I can meat, like chicken, I do can chicken legs a lot. And if I do that, then I prefer the wide mouth jars because it's easier to get the chicken legs out of the jar. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the camera. I'm gonna get that lid up, and then I'm gonna bring you in and show you how I load up the canner. Everybody, we are back, and now I have all the lids on the jars, and we are going to pack in my canners. So I'm gonna bring you over and get this camera situated right on top of the canner so you can see the jars going in. Okay, so this is a pressure canning recipe because it's low acidic, and so I'm not going to fill it up to like over the jars. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 7 jars. My canner should hold 7 jars. So I'm going to put 6 in a circle around. The canner. Just like this. And then number 7 is going to go in the center. Just like that. Okay? So it holds 7. And then what I'm going to do is I already put a gallon of water, about a gallon of water in the canner. That should be enough. But I'm going to reach down in there. This canner everything is cold, by the way, okay? I'm going to reach down in there and see how deep it is. And it's about to the second knuckle, so that's pretty good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put the lid on. I have already checked the seal. I checked the seal right here. Make sure that it's good and in the right position. And I've looked through this tiny hole and made sure that it was clear. And I'll show you which hole I'm talking about in a minute. And then, now, we're going to put the lid on it. I'm going to push down. And I'm going to seal it. I look through this hole. You make sure that this hole is clear and you can see through it. Nothing is stuck in there, because this is where your steam is going to release. Okay? And so now what I'm going to do is get this going and make sure it's centered on the burner. And I'm going to get the burner started. Wrong burner. There it is. I'm going to get the burner started. And I'm going to put it on high. I'm going to back you up so you can see that I'm looking down through here. And I'm going to center this on top of that ring of flame down under it so that it heats up evenly. There we go. It should be, yes, it's centered completely evenly, okay? And now we're going to bring this up slowly. And then once the steam starts coming out of the top, I'm going to time it for 10 minutes. I'm going to put the rocker on it. I'm going to let the pressure build up. In my area, it is 10 pounds of pressure, 11 pounds of pressure by the gauge. And when that rocker starts to tilt, that's a 10-pound gauge rocker. So when it starts to shake, then I'm going to turn it and make sure that it is just shaking as slow as possible, but still shaking, because this is a long canning process for this. These are quarts, and quarts need to go for an hour and 30 minutes. And so you want the steam to stay inside the canner, but you want it at temperature. And so you only want it to and then wait and then okay, that's what you want it. You want it to wait and then go okay? And I'll bring you back when it is done. All right, everyone, the pressure is down on this pressure cooker. And so I am going to, I can see you by the gauge, and this, and the plug is down. So now I'm going to take this off, and I am going to crack this open it away from me like that, and I'm going to let it rest with the lid slightly ajar for 10 minutes, and we'll come back in 10 minutes and unload this together. Right, let's get these beans out of here, and well, this soup out of here, and see what it looks like. We're gonna see this together. Oh, look at that bubbling. Y'all hear that? That's the jar sealing. Oh my gosh. Right, isn't that beautiful? Oh, you don't see it. Okay, you saw me taking it out. I'm going to tilt this down, and we're going to see. Isn't that a beautiful sight? That is 7 jars of soup that I'm going to be putting on my pantry shelf. Now, I do want to let you know that I have 5 more bags of beans, and let me look and see how much ham I have left. 1, 2. I got about 3 or 4 more bags of ham that I need to use up. And so I will probably be putting 3 to 4 more rounds of this on my shelf for the winter. Isn't that a beautiful sight? So I'm going to be having a lot of ham and white northern bean soup this winter for sure. Now guys, I am 5 people away. 5 people away from reaching my goal for subscribers, okay? So please take this and pass it around, share it, and hopefully I will have 5 more, at least 5 more people subscribe to my channel to reach that goal that I've set for myself. You guys be blessed, and I will see you on the next video.